Yeah.
Ever think about a career where you're like really making a difference, one-on-one? We're diving into the world of home care aides today. And let me tell you, the stuff on RoleCatcher, their guide and all their tools, it's eye-opening to
Yeah.
see what it takes to support people in a way most folks don't even realize is even possible,
Yeah.
you know?
It's really interesting, actually, because this whole field,
Yeah.
it's booming right now.
Oh, really?
People are, like, so passionate about this idea of aging in place,
Right.
which basically means staying in their own homes as they get older, not
Yeah.
going to a nursing home or anything.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's where home care aides really come in.
That makes sense because, I mean, who doesn't want to stay independent for as long as they can?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. And this guide we're looking at, it doesn't shy away from the fact that this is about way more than just like, helping with groceries or taking someone to appointments, right?
Absolutely. RoleCatcher really gets into it, the nitty-gritty.
Yeah.
They explain how home care aides are doing personal care stuff like bathing, dressing,
Wow.
but then also become like trusted companions,
Yeah.
Advocating for what the client needs,
Mm-hmm.
even navigating like all the family dynamics, which can get...
Oh, whoa, I didn't even think about that part. The family stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, you're going into someone's home, you're part of their life.
It's all...
It's such a vulnerable time,
Exactly. And the guide stresses like how important emotional intelligence is in those situations.
Oh, I bet.
Advocating for what the client wants, but also respecting the family, what they think. It takes serious people skills.
So that makes that warning in the condition section
Yeah.
about being emotionally demanding, that makes a lot more sense now.
For sure.
Because it's not just the physical work, right?
Yeah.
It's the emotional weight too.
Totally. It's both. You're using your head and your heart constantly.
Yeah.
But with that challenge comes, a really immense reward.
Mm-hmm.
Building trust, giving someone comfort when they need it, that's powerful.
Yeah. And speaking of challenges, one thing I noticed, RoleCatcher doesn't sugarcoat it when it comes to the money part.
Right.
They're up front that home care aides starting out might make less
Yeah.
than some other like healthcare jobs.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely something to like weigh out, think about seriously.
Yeah.
Because it's a career where oftentimes your passion, your sense of purpose, that outweighs, a huge paycheck.
Yeah, for sure.
But speaking of finding the right fit, though, I do want to say RoleCatcher has some really cool tools to like help you on your journey.
Like that, what is it called? RoleCatcher Capture?
Yes.
Okay, first of all, awesome name. Sounds like a spy gadget or something.
Yeah.
But no, seriously, you're telling me this thing can organize all those job postings
Yeah.
from like everywhere?
It's amazing. It's a game changer. No more like clicking through a million tabs.
Oh my gosh.
Forgetting where you saw what.
All the time.
It pulls it all into one place. So you can compare, apply, so much easier.
Okay, now that right there, that's worth its weight in gold.
Right.
But wait, there's more. AI-powered features for your resume and interview prep.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me more, because that sounds like, honestly, that sounds like something I need in my life right now.
Right. So picture this. You upload your resume, right? And their AI, it compares it to like the job descriptions you're interested in.
Oh, wow.
And then it'll flag like, hey, you're missing this skill or you don't have this experience listed, but they're looking for it.
So it's like having a personal career coach, basically.
Yes.
Analyzing each job with me.
Exactly.
Making sure that my resume like actually stands out. That's incredible.
And it gets better.
Okay.
They have this AI interview practice where you record yourself answering questions and you get feedback on it.
Right.
Like from the AI.
No way.
Yeah. You can even compare how you did to your prepared answers.
Now that's what I call next level prep. So let's say I ace the interview, I get the job.
Amazing.
What happens next? Like what does a typical day even look like for a home care aide?
Well, remember how we were talking about like all those different tasks
Yeah.
and the emotional demands? It really boils down to building trust and being that support system. But those specific duties, man, those can be so different.
Right, from like the personal care stuff to errands to just being a friendly face, a listening ear.
It's so true.
It's definitely not like a one-size-fits-all kind of job.
And that is something RoleCatcher really emphasizes, like being adaptable.
Right.
being resourceful is key
Mm-hmm.
because you might have to think on your feet, problem solve. You got to adjust to the client's needs because those can change, you know?
So it's not just a checklist, right?
Yeah.
It's about being present, being responsive
Completely.
to what that person needs in that moment.
And honestly, that ability to connect with people from all walks of life, that's what makes this career so fulfilling. It's about making a real difference.
It sounds like it takes a special kind of person
Mm-hmm.
to do this work well.
Yeah.
Someone who's compassionate,
Yes.
patient,
Mm-hmm.
and genuinely enjoys helping others, you know?
Absolutely. And while RoleCatcher is honest about the challenges, they also showcase the rewards of this path, you know?
Yeah.
It's not all, sunshine and roses, but...
Right. It's funny you say that because RoleCatcher actually has a whole section called, like, is this career right for me?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they really get into, like, the personality traits and stuff that are key to being successful, you know?
It's really refreshing to see that honesty, you know?
Yeah.
Because they're not just trying to sell you on the idea of being a home care aide.
Yeah.
They want you to find something that fits you, who you are.
Exactly. And speaking of fitting, let's talk about how this job fits into, like, different life stages.
Okay.
Because the guide talks about, like, career paths from entry level all the way up to senior positions, you know?
Yeah, I was really impressed by how they map that out. You can start as a home care aide, get that experience, and then maybe specialize, like, I don't know, dementia care or disability support.
So you're not just stuck in, like, one lane.
Right.
Right. There are options to grow, to learn new things within the field.
Exactly.
RoleCatcher even mentions, like, becoming a certified nursing assistant, a CNA, or a home health aide, an HHA.
Yeah, and those certifications, those can really open doors to higher paying roles too.
Right.
Even, whether it's within home care or in a different healthcare setting.
Mm-hmm.
It's a smart way to build your skills and make them useful in more places.
It's like leveling up in a video game. Like, you're gaining experience, you're unlocking these new abilities.
I like that.
Right. And you're able to take on bigger challenges. Okay, I'm hooked.
Yeah.
But realistically, how do I actually stand out?
Right.
Like, it's a crowded job market out there.
It is, but that's where, RoleCatcher's tools, they come in clutch again. Remember that advice about building a professional portfolio?
Yeah.
Imagine having these, like, glowing testimonials from past clients, from their families.
Right.
Talk about making an impression.
It's like the difference between, like, reading a restaurant review online and actually hearing from someone who, like, loved their meal.
Yes.
Right? That personal touch, it makes all the difference.
It really does. And don't forget about networking.
Right.
Like, RoleCatcher gives you links to organizations like the National Association for Home Care and Hospice.
Okay. So you can actually connect with other professionals, learn from what they've been through.
Exactly.
Maybe even get, like, insider tips on job openings and stuff.
Totally. It's about tapping into that whole community aspect.
Now, what about interviews? Because that's always nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, tell me about it.
Like, what do I even say?
Well, RoleCatcher actually gives you, like, sample interview questions.
Oh, okay.
That are specific to home care.
Oh, that's smart.
Like, tell me about a time you had to be patient with a difficult client.
Oh, those are good. Those are really good practice questions. I'd be, like, stumbling over my words if someone threw that at me.
Right.
But having a few, like, prepped answers in my back pocket, that would totally boost my confidence.
And remember that AI-powered interview practice we talked about?
Yeah.
It's like having a coach right there, analyzing your body language.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Your tone, how you're saying it, and even, like, what you're saying.
Seriously, RoleCatcher has thought of everything.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, this whole process, like finding the jobs, doing the prepping, it can feel overwhelming sometimes.
It's true. Job hunting, it's a roller coaster.
Right.
Emotionally, it's up and down all the time.
Totally.
But RoleCatcher addresses that too.
Really?
Yeah, they have a whole section on managing stress.
Oh, wow.
And avoiding burnout during the job search.
That's so important because it's easy to get caught up, in the hustle of it all.
It really is.
And forget to just, like, take care of yourself.
Exactly. And that's what they emphasize. Self-care. Setting realistic expectations and celebrating the small wins along the way.
Yes.
It's about pacing yourself because this is, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
It's like they're saying, hey, we got your back every step of the way.
Totally.
And speaking of support, I was really impressed by, I think it was called the External Resources section. They list all these organizations like the Family Caregiver Alliance, the Elder Care Locator.
It's clear that they want to give home care aides a full support system.
Yeah.
It's not just about getting the job, it's about actually doing well.
Thriving.
Yeah. Thriving in a job that can be, tough, but also so rewarding.
And speaking of rewarding, they also touch on, the whole money side of things, right? We talked about starting salaries being a little lower, but is there potential to earn more, later on down the line?
I think for sure.
Yeah.
As you get more experience, you get those certifications, you can ask for more, higher hourly rates. Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Some home care aides even start their own businesses,
Wow.
set their own rates, choose their own clients, the whole 9 yards.
Now that's what I call taking control of your career.
Right.
It sounds like this field offers a lot of flexibility, in your schedule, but also just in terms of your long-term growth, what you want to make of it.
Yeah, you got it. It's a career path that can change with you, adapt to different life stages, priorities, all that. Yeah. And let's not forget those emotional rewards we talk about, right? Knowing you're making a real difference in someone's life, that's huge.
There's no price tag you can put on that.
Exactly.
For someone who's just starting to even think about this kind of work, it's actually really reassuring to hear that there's those possibilities out there.
Yeah.
But RoleCatcher also really emphasizes this isn't just a job, it's kind of a calling, They really make you think about the why behind it all.
Totally.
And for people who are into that, that kind of purpose-driven work, RoleCatcher does a really good job of painting a picture of what it's actually like,
Yeah.
day to day. They even have this whole section, it's called a day in the life of a home care aide.
I love that they included that, those real life glimpses.
Because it's one thing to talk about it.
It's different.
Right, providing companionship or helping with meals and stuff.
Totally.
But it's another thing to hear about the moments of shared laughter.
Yes.
Or those quiet conversations that really make a difference for people.
Yeah, it's those human connections
Right.
that really stay with you.
Totally. It actually reminds me of something you said earlier about emotional intelligence being so important
Oh yeah.
in this line of work.
Huge. It's
Agreed.
essential. Because it's about, reading between the lines, understanding what someone needs, even if they're not saying it,
Right.
and responding with, with empathy, with compassion.
Yeah.
It's way more than just checking things off a list.
Totally. And RoleCatcher doesn't just tell you it's important. They give you actual tips on how to get better at that stuff.
Yeah, they do.
I saw they mentioned things like active listening
Important.
and nonverbal communication.
Oh, that's huge, especially if you're
Right.
working with someone who, maybe they have trouble communicating
Right.
verbally. So you got to pay attention to their body language, how they're saying things, even just their facial expressions.
It's like learning a whole new language.
Yeah. Yes.
The language of empathy, of really understanding someone.
Totally. And honestly, I think that's what makes the difference between a good home care aide and someone who's truly great.
Totally agree.
It's that desire to connect, on a human level,
Oh, yeah.
to make their life a little brighter, a little easier,
That's it right there. And for anyone listening who's feeling that pull, towards this kind of work,
Yeah.
I think honestly everything RoleCatcher's put together is an amazing starting point.
They really have.
They've covered everything, the practical stuff, the emotional stuff,
Yeah.
all the things in between.
All of it.
It could be overwhelming, but they make it clear. They make it digestible.
Yeah, it's surprisingly inspiring, for what could be kind of a heavy topic.
Right.
They make it feel hopeful.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
So to everyone listening, if you're ready to dive into a career, that really makes a difference.
Yeah.
Head over to RoleCatcher, start exploring. You might just find what you're looking for. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep into all the possibilities out there.
Wow.